It's now time for Talkin' Boxing with Billy C. It began as a podcast, went live on the net, and transformed into a full-blown empire. It's the only daily boxing talk show on the planet, hosted by the only guy with the balls to do it. Many have stepped into the ring. Many have tried to take the belt. And one by one, they've fallen. Another victim of the undisputed heavyweight champion of Boxing Talk Radio. Talkin' Boxing with Billy C is on now.
My style is impetuous, my defense is impregnable, and I'm just ferocious. I want your heart.
Good day, good evening, whenever you're listening. I hope you're doing all right. Today's show is being brought to us in part by Sal's Neighborhood Pizzeria and Italian Restaurant located on beautiful St. Simons Island in Georgia. Check out the website, www.salsneighborhoodpizzeria.com, or give my man a call, 912-268-2328, 912-268-2328. Find out why I go all the way to St. Simon's to get a decent pizza pie. Today's show is also being brought to us in part by Gawk Box. What is it? Well, it's a two-way street for us. We can help you save some money and even get some stuff for free. At the same time, you'll be helping us out. So go visit our website, Billy C Boxing banner. Today's show is also and our app on Fight TV. Download it today for free. Go to Fight, that's F-I-T-E, fight.tv/Billy C, and get our app today. And finally, today's show is being brought to us in part by my book. Tom Molyneux, From Bondage to Baddest Man on the Planet, is available right now where all good books are sold. Get yourself a copy. Go to barnesandnoble.com or amazon.com right now and get a copy while you're watching or listening to the show. Also, if you want to get a signed copy, just visit the website, billycboxing.com, and click on the book. You can't miss it. And a special shout out to all of our Holyfield television viewers. We'd like to hear from you. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know what time you're watching us and where you're watching us from. We want to know. So drop me an email, billy@talkinboxing. That's TALKINBOXING. I also want to give a special shout out to all of our Facebook Live viewers. We've been experimenting with doing the show on Facebook simultaneously, and we've been getting some good results from that. We just want everybody to know that may be watching on Facebook that if you want the full video version of this show, the same one that goes out to the TV networks, just go to our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/talkinboxing, TALKINBOXING. We're going to open up the phone lines a little bit later after Andre Ward beat Sergey Kovalev last weekend. Andre Ward making some, I don't know, just kind of planting a seed that he wants to go after Anthony Joshua and his title and be the first light heavyweight champion to move up and win a world heavyweight title, similar to what Roy Jones Jr. did. Initially, I poo-pooed it. And, I no disrespect to Roy Jones Jr. or John Ruiz. John Ruiz was nowhere near the fighter Anthony Joshua is. And although I would give Andre Ward a lot of credit for challenging himself to do something which, I personally, and I'm sure many other people believe, would be a shot in hell to beat Anthony Joshua, I would give him a hell of a lot of credit for giving it a shot, because that's what great fighters do. Great fighters and great champions do things that are not, that people think are impossible to accomplish. And I certainly think that Andre Ward beating Anthony Joshua is virtually impossible. So I would certainly give Andre Ward credit, whether he won, lost, or had a draw. And if he could possibly win, it would cement Andre Ward in the history books forever. Joining me right now from St. Simons is my partner in crime, Sal Rocky Senecola. And Sal, what's your thoughts? I mean, Andre Ward acting like he's serious. I mean, even his trainer, Virgil Hunter, who I think is one of the worst in the business, is saying that he really, no BS, would love to see Andre Ward fight Anthony Joshua. What do you think?
You know, Billy, I'll tell you what. I can't put past what Andre Ward is capable of doing in a ring. As I said, I thought Kovalev was going to do what he should have done to make that fight resemble more of the first fight in the early rounds of that first fight. But Andre Ward had a different answer, had a different idea. And I'll tell you what, I can't discount Andre Ward going in the ring as with Anthony Joshua as a totally one-sided fight that Anthony Joshua is going to dominate. And I'll tell you why, and I'll give you points. But you know, Andre Ward, I think I saw on ESPN earlier today that he was voted as a pound-for-pound top guy. Took over that slot. And like I said, I always say, you're only good as your last fight. And that's what people remember. That's what people imagine and picture. And Andre Ward, after he disposed of Kovalev so handily, so easily on some levels, that, you know, now, hey, the sky's the limit. Let's see what I can do now. And Anthony Joshua, to his credit, he's big, he's strong, he's everything you would expect to see in a heavyweight champion and more. But there's flaws there, and there's ideas. Like I said, a fighter is very careful, and he usually will not get in a ring with somebody he doesn't think he can beat. That's just how a fighter works. I mean, they challenge themselves. A good fighter. And Andre Ward obviously is from that old school. He's challenging himself because it's not going to be a layup for either fighter. But what Andre Ward will have on his side is speed, is maybe ability to move a little bit more agile and use the ring a little better. And if he could think he could stay on the outside and tie him up on the inside, I mean, it's not rocket science, but it's a good strategy. And, you know, I'll give him a fighter's chance. That's it. And maybe he thinks he's got a lot of punching power now. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I can't discount it. I can't discount it. You know, any given night, I can't discount it. And it would almost be a fight I'd like to see.
Well, he would need a hell of a lot more than just a little punching power. Which, you know, listen, with all due respect, he did display some pop against Kovalev, so we got to give him credit for that. But he certainly doesn't have the punching power of Vladimir Klitschko. And, you know, I mean, what first of all, he's given up almost a foot in height, and I don't know how many inches in reach, 11 inches in reach. I'm sorry, he's given up, how tall is
6'6"?
Yeah, so he's given up about a half a foot in height and almost a foot in reach, 11 inches in reach to Anthony Joshua. I mean, you know, Andre Ward's game traditionally was to, you know, crowd his opponent and clinch and hold. I just can't see him. I mean, the physical size difference between the two. And Anthony Joshua is no slouch. I think he's, he's obviously the best heavyweight on the planet. But this is not an easy fight. This is not John Ruiz that hardly threw any punches. This is a very powerful man in Anthony Joshua, and Andre Ward, I think, has no chance of beating him. Although I'm extremely impressed with him even talking about it. Yeah. Now, if it's just shallow challenges, I mean, what else does he have? Apparently, he's not interested in Stevenson. He says he's not ruling it out, but he thinks that there's no way that fight will happen. And I think one of the reasons is because Andre Ward has to, call all the shots, and so does Adonis Stevenson. So he also talked about possibly moving up to cruiserweight. And, there's other tough fighters in the cruiserweight division. Alexander Usyk and Denis Lebedev. Lebedev has got a lot of mileage on him. Maybe he could steal a win from him. Murat Gassiov. So and even other light heavyweights like Artur Beterbiev. I think that more people would like to see him fight, but who knows? I mean, I don't know what he's thinking, Sal. Like, why wouldn't he go after a Artur Beterbiev or somebody like that in his own weight class rather than shoot for the limits, unless he's just trying to, make $100 million payday. Maybe he would demand, Floyd Mayweather money to fight Anthony Joshua. And quite honestly, I think it would be worth it. I think he would have to get paid that much because he clearly would be in a fight, right?
Billy, let me tell you what I like about this fight. First of all, I was rooting for Kovalev. What happened? I'm now an Andre Ward fan. Despite what he does and his antics or what he states and everything else, the guy could fight. The guy did what he said he would do. So I respect him. And you know what? I'd say bypass everything else. Go for the sky's the limit. You know what this is, Billy? This is 30 years later. This is Sugar Ray Leonard challenging Marvin Hagler. That's what this fight is. And we saw what Sugar Ray Leonard did to Marvin Hagler in that fight. I'm telling you, this is an analogy. That's a close comparison. This is Sugar Ray Leonard 30 years later challenging Marvin Hagler, and we never know what's going to happen. Yeah. I could see this fight. I could see Andre Ward actually beating Anthony Joshua. Not mano to mano, toe to toe, no. But what does Andre Ward have to do? He's got to move a lot. He's got to move side to side. He knows Joshua's going to get tired after the 7th round, 6th round. That's what he's counting on. That's what I'm saying. He would not be looking to do things unless he felt he could strategically beat this guy and break him down. And Andre Ward, he'll be faster on the outside. He'll slip punches. He'll hit him in the body. He'll slow him down. Maybe he'll hit him on the arms. And when he's inside, he'll tie him up. That's how you fight a fighter like this. He's got power, so you don't give him the room to punch on the inside, and you don't let him reach you from the outside. And that's what Andre Ward could do. He could actually move around, and he could, Anthony Joshua's chin, he got tested with Klitschko, but he also got dropped by Klitschko. Andre Ward displayed a great body attack against Kovalev.
Well, you make you cut out there for a second, but you make I know we got you back now, but you make a point. But please don't compare Klitschko's punching power with Andre Ward.
I'm not. No. I'm not. Klitschko.
Let's be real. Let's be realistic. And you can't even compare. Sugar Ray Leonard coming out of retirement fighting Marvin Hagler. I mean, Sugar Ray Leonard, yes, in terms of challenging himself, I'll put it along the same lines. But, I mean, we're talking apples and oranges. We're talking about a guy that, is going to be going after a guy way bigger than him. Way bigger. 2 weight classes bigger. I don't know. I don't know if I can really believe Andre Ward. No. I agree with that. I like it that he's saying it. But and the other thing I'll say about Andre Ward is what we learned in the Kovalev fight is what he seems to say he tries to back up. So whether he's just fishing to try and see if he can get a $100 million payday, because of course the diva in Andre Ward is going to be asking for the huge bucks, which rightfully so. But yes, from a challenging standpoint, I would love to see it. But from a realistic standpoint, I don't see him having even a remote chance of beating Anthony Joshua. Not even. I mean, you're giving him a chance there, Sal, and I'm not. I'm not.
I didn't give him much of a chance to beat Kovalev either. But he did.
But we're talking apples and oranges, brother. Kovalev wouldn't stand a chance with AJ either. I mean, come on. Listen, Wilder won't stand a chance with AJ. There's not a heavyweight on the planet that can beat Anthony Joshua, at least in my opinion right now. So what makes you think that Andre Ward, and this whole pound for pound thing, I guess we put Andre Ward at number one, but that's kind of crazy anyway. I mean, that's totally subjective. Everybody has their own pound for pound list, so yeah, we'll give him that if he's number one right now based on his win over Kovalev. But that doesn't make him Superman.
No, it doesn't make him Superman. But like I said, and like we always talk about, Bill, styles make fights. And there's something that obviously Andre Ward feels in his style that he could probably offset or be a good contrast in a pathway to maybe have a chance to win against the style of Anthony Joshua. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know. Hold that thought. Hold that thought, Sal, because we got to take a short break here. And I think Andre Ward needs to have his head examined. But hang tight. We'll be back in 2.
Billy C will be right back.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-290-8300.
Endless pools are an incredible alternative to traditional pools, making it easy and inexpensive to swim at home. Exercise year-round against a smooth current set to your desired pace and temperature. With our new underwater treadmill, you can walk or run without stressing your joints. Endless pools are simple to install and even simpler to maintain. The water stays crystal clear with almost no chlorine. Call for your free idea kit and experience the freedom of swimming at home.
Snacking has never been this exciting. At Graze.com, we combine wholesome ingredients with the flavors we all love to create over 100 snacks, like these. We'd love to send you a Graze sampler box for free. Just go to Graze.com, enter the code ENJOY36, and we'll mail your free box to your home or office. Join thousands of Grazers already in love with our exciting snacks. So come to Graze.com for your first box free.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical
Check out BillyCBoxing.com now, or feel the wrath of the mighty mustache.
Oh, that hurts! Why are you doing that to my face? I hate you!
That's BillyCBoxing.com. Consider this your warning. Now back to Billy C. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're back. You're listening and watching the Billy C. Show. Glad you could join us. Don't forget, if you're watching us on a stream or even Facebook Live, don't forget the full video version, as seen on our television networks, is also being broadcast up on YouTube. So check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/talkinboxing. TALKINBOXING. I'm here with my man Sal Rocky Senecola, and we're talking about Andre Ward's bold claim that he may skip over the cruiserweight division and fight the best in the heavyweight division. And I'm not just saying that. Andre Ward and even his overrated trainer Virgil Hunter feel the same. Sal, Virgil Hunter said, "I'd like to see him fight Anthony Joshua. I'm not playing around. I'm serious. I think it would be a very interesting fight. I know you'll have a lot of people saying, "Oh, that would be suicide," but I believe he could outbox Anthony Joshua. There's some things about Joshua that I see. Yes, he's a good kid. I know him, but I see things with him in particular, and he happens to be the best in the heavyweight division. But styles make fights. It would be a waste of time to go to the cruiserweight division. We would just leapfrog it all and go for the top. Just like you said, styles make
just
fights.
Like I said,
but the truth of the matter is, listen, I give Ward a lot of credit for even suggesting this challenge, but I don't give him much of a chance, Sal.
I do. I give him a chance. And it may not go the distance, but I give him a chance. Like I said, I would like it, and like I said, I became a Ward fan overnight. I didn't particularly care. I respected his style, but you know what? This would almost be like your favorite fighter, Floyd Mayweather, challenging Golovkin and Canelo Alvarez, the winner of that fight. And I would love that. And if Floyd could ever do that, you want to see, I'll be an instant fan. I mean, that's what we like to see. This is what we talk about every day, Billy. Fighters challenging themselves and rising to the occasion and doing the impossible or doing what others think might be impossible. So Andre Ward, I will give him all the credit and all the support. And if he so dares to step in the ring with Anthony Joshua, I'm not saying he's going to win, but I'm saying he believes in his heart of hearts that he can win. And you know what? You can never say whatever happens at any given night. And like his trainer even said, borrowed my line, styles make fights. They see something flawed in Anthony Joshua's style that they can take capitalization on and make happen for them.
Well, as far as challenging, you know, obviously, let's not even talk about Floyd Mayweather because Floyd Mayweather doesn't challenge himself. And you're right, Andre Ward, even just talking about this, you know, far exceeds what Floyd has done in terms of, you know, challenging himself. But and I agree. I you know, you can't deny. I mean, it's an old cliche. Styles make fights. I mean, people have been saying this for 100 years, and it's true. And you know, if he was like you know, Speedy Gonzalez in there, and I'm talking about Andre Ward, you know, jabbing and moving and running, and you know, maybe he steals a fight from Anthony Joshua. But I just think that all it would take would be one solid shot from Anthony. Listen, I can't help but get the image of the uppercut that I almost thought I was going to see Klitschko's head land in the third or fourth row after that uppercut. All he's got to do is land not even as powerful as that, and Ward is out cold. He'll wake up wondering what the hell happened. So even from a safety point of view, Joshua's a big man. You know, I don't know. Listen, I like the fact that Ward is challenging himself. I also believe that Ward is serious because you know, he's proven that he backs up what he says. Unlike a lot of these smack talkers today that say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and they do none of that. You know, but it all started with David Hay, and you know, because social media was, you know, a part of that. You know, him chasing Klitschko around for how long? You know, I'm going to do that, and then he runs like a punk. You know, and then he has the nerve to put his toe up on the podium to show that that's why he couldn't do anything. You know, same thing. Kovalev talking smack for 2 months, talking smack, and then does nothing. You know, so listen. Ward gets the credit. He said he was going to knock out Kovalev. He knocked him out. He's saying he's going to fight Anthony Joshua. Maybe he's going to. I don't know.
I love it. I'm telling you right now. And I'd rather be talking about this than talking about Mayweather and McGregor.
Well, speaking of Mayweather and McGregor.
Oh, boy. Here we go again.
You know, there's been many reports out that has been floating around about Conor McGregor in his training right now, his sparring. And basically he's getting slapped around by his sparring partners, you know, and you know, that's not a good sign for Conor McGregor. And I still believe that not only is it a circus, but, you know, it's just a payday for Conor McGregor. You know, regardless of what he's going to say between now and August 26th, he doesn't stand a chance. save your money. Don't buy the fight. I mean, there's not going to be a fight on that undercard that's going to be worth $100, and certainly watching Floyd Mayweather in a just another anticlimactic fight would be another reason to save your money. But as far as that fight itself, Canelo Alvarez and Triple G, like we said the other day, they were in New York for their press conference, and both of them appeared on ESPN. And of course, they were asked about the McGregor Mayweather fight, and basically, even though these guys are going to be going head to head, meaning Canelo and Triple G, they both agree on one thing, Sal, that the Mayweather-McGregor fight's a joke. And some people were suggesting that Mayweather and McGregor, because if you remember, as soon as Triple G and Canelo were announced, Dana White was quoted as saying, "There goes our date," meaning that they wanted that date to hold the fight between McGregor and Mayweather. And since they made the fight, they picked a date a couple of weeks prior. And a lot of talk has been, well, do you think that's going to hurt the fight? The Triple G Canelo fight. And you and I both said, no way. Not especially for boxing fans. Boxing fans are going to watch the Triple G and Canelo fight is a real fight. McGregor Mayweather is nothing less than a circus exhibition. But it's interesting to hear the quotes. Triple G said, if you want to watch a true fight, a true boxing fight, like a classic fight, welcome to September 16th. If you want to watch a show, like, I don't know, a business show, a comedy show, Floyd is Floyd. Conor, he's a good fighter, but he's not a boxer. In his broken English, I could almost... basically say the same thing. I can't disagree with him. What do you think?
No. Well, of course, what I think is exactly what he said. I mean, I could respect Conor McGregor being the best at what he does in his sport, which is MMA. Just like I could respect Floyd Mayweather being the best in what he does at his weight. As far as even if it's his style, not one that I am so warm and fuzzy about. It's effective, and he wins. So I respect him on that level 100%. The bottom line is, these two fighters in the ring are going to equal a farce. I had an opportunity to talk to Bobby Chez yesterday, and he feels the same way. And I said to Bob, we had about a good 20, 30-minute conversation. And by the way, he said he'd like to come on a show anytime we want him, just give him a day's notice. But what I asked Bobby was, Bobby, how could the Nevada State Athletic Commission even approve of a fight like this to be a real boxing match? And I hope Bobby doesn't mind me saying, but he said, Sal, they do it under the guise that they are both considered striker sports, whether it's MMA or boxing. So they really aren't looking at it from a standpoint of Conor McGregor making a professional debut in the sport of boxing. They're looking at it under a flag or blanket that they're both involved in striker sports like boxing and MMA. So, you know what? Bobby gave me his explanation, and, it's the best one I've heard ever since, So, I don't know.
Well, it is what it is. It's not the comparison. I really don't think that boxing fans are going to pick watching Floyd Mayweather against Conor McGregor over Triple G Canelo. I just don't. I can't see it. Now, what would happen would be, and I said this on yesterday's show, obviously, you got to give credit what credit's due. Floyd Mayweather has a fan base, and he also has a lot of people that don't like him, that buy his stuff just hoping that he's going to lose. So Floyd still has that in his pocket. And let's not make any mistakes about Conor McGregor's drawing power and the fan base that comes along not only with Conor McGregor, but the UFC and MMA fans. They're all hoping that he somehow lands that lucky shot. And like I said earlier in the week, this fight is bad for boxing, terrible for boxing, but it's good for MMA. MMA and UFC specifically are in a win-win situation. They don't really care. Honestly, I don't think they really care if McGregor wins, but the UFC is in a win-win situation, so they're still going to do well, I would think, with the pay-per-views. But when you get to boxing, no, the boxing crowd will not choose Mayweather McGregor over Triple G Canelo. They may get both, but they won't choose. But hold that thought. I got a quote from Oscar De La Hoya. Then I got some quotes from this article that was written yesterday or the day before that I started to talk about yesterday. But I got some stuff I want to bring out and throw it out there. I want to give the author a little kudos. We got some emails to read, and then hopefully we'll have some time to open up the phone lines. So we'll be back in about 2.
Billy C will be right back.
If you or a loved one have had hernia repair surgery with mesh reinforcement and suffered infection, chronic pain, mesh migration, mesh failure, organ damage, or needed additional surgery, call the Rely On Group right now. You may be eligible to receive a cash award and compensation for your medical expenses. Your voice deserves to be heard. Call the Rely On Group to be connected with a personal injury attorney for a free consultation. Call 800-715-4869. That's 800-715-4869.
Endless pools are an incredible alternative to traditional pools, making it easy and inexpensive to swim at home. Exercise year-round against a smooth current set to your desired pace and temperature. With our new underwater treadmill, you can walk or run without stressing your joints. Endless pools are simple to install and even simpler to maintain. The water stays crystal clear with almost no chlorine. Call for your free idea kit and experience the freedom of swimming at home.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-290-8300.
Are you?
Snacking has never been this exciting. At Graze.com, we combine wholesome ingredients with the flavors we all love to create over 100 exciting snacks. Like these. We'd love to send you a Graze sampler box for free. Just go to Graze.com, enter the code ENJOY36, and we'll mail your free box to your home or office. Join thousands of Grazers already in love with our exciting snacks. So come to Graze.com for your first box free.
Check out BillyCBoxing.com now, or feel the wrath of the mighty mustache.
Oh, that hurts! Why are you doing that to my face? I hate you.
That's BillyCBoxing.com. Consider this your warning. Now back to Billy C. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're back. You're listening and watching the Billy C Show. Don't forget, if you want the full video version, if you're watching on Facebook Live, just go on over to our YouTube page, youtube.com/talkinboxing, TalkinBoxing. And before I read my next quote, Sal has been signaling to me, which I barely caught. I will tell you this, Sal, because I had to get something. I just saw it was so small in the picture that I couldn't see. But you have a question? Is that what I read before you ripped it off the screen?
I can't believe you saw that.
I barely saw it, but
the screen.
Yeah,
I'm impressed, Billy C.
What's your question, Sal? Before we send you to the principal's office.
I have a question for everybody out there, and for you, my friend. What do you think would happen if Floyd Mayweather was to step in a cage under the MMA rules to fight Conor McGregor in an MMA fight? What do you think would happen?
Oh, listen, the same thing that's going to happen when Conor McGregor steps out of the cage and steps in a boxing ring with Floyd. Floyd's going to dominate. Floyd's going to
two different sports.
Exactly. That's my point. No, Conor McGregor would destroy Floyd Mayweather. He would destroy Floyd Mayweather in a cage, but outside of the cage, Floyd Mayweather's going to destroy him. That's the joke of this whole fight.
That's the joke. That's the joke. Why can't these people see it? If it was other way around and Floyd stepped into the cage with Conor McGregor, Floyd would get killed. Now,
Floyd doesn't do that.
Same thing's going to happen with this guy stepping into the boxing ring with Floyd Mayweather. He's going to get killed.
Exactly. Anyway, we got another quote. This one from Oscar De La Hoya. Now this was basically kind of a dig back at Dana White, because if you recall, Oscar De La Hoya sent that open letter to all the boxing fans telling them not to buy the Mayweather-McGregor fight, and Dana White comes back and says that he's hypocritical, blah, 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 meaning Oscar De La Hoya. And during the interview the other day with ESPN, he said it was disrespectful. I would have thought Dana White would have had a little more respect with this boxing event taking place, referring to Triple G against Canelo. He says, you just don't do that. It's like having a Super Bowl. We have the whole stage, these big November or December, but it is what we have, a super fight. We have a real fight. You know, they're both going back and forth, nitpicking about the dates and the choice of the dates and everything else. And quite honestly, this is apples and oranges, Sal. I mean, McGregor-Mayweather is nothing more than a freak show, circus, exhibition. And Triple G-Canelo is a legitimate fight that we were talking about yesterday, is a 50-50 fight right now. Now Triple G is talking about this will be his last fight. So maybe all of the rumblings around with media and boxing analysts saying that he slipped, he's not the same fighter, and maybe the longer wait that Team Canelo waited putting this fight off is going to pay off. You know, Canelo clearly hasn't looked, Triple G has not looked like the Triple G of old in his last two fights. So this could be the beginning of the end for Triple G.
Well, you and I have been talking about this, and not so much that Triple G looked a little bit like he was slipping his last two fights, but the bottom line is, he's not a young fighter, and I've been saying for over a year now that he's only got about 2 or 3, maybe 4 good fights in him left, and with his style, that's I still hold true to that. And I think it could be up to him to decide when his last fight's going to be, but I think it's inevitable that's going to be very soon. And I don't, dispose the fact when we were talking a year and a half, 2 years ago about this fight, the likelihood of this fight happening, that I thought Triple G would destroy Canelo Alvarez. That was a year and a half ago. And Father Time and what the last 2 fights have shown, and I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't say you're only as good as your last fight. Well, those are the flaws, and those are the things that Canelo Alvarez saw in Triple G that he thinks he's going to capitalize on right now. I still believe in my heart of hearts that Triple G, especially if this might be his last fight, is going to rise to the occasion, and he's going to be the victor in this fight against Canelo Alvarez. I feel that to be true. And I know it's going to be a great fight. I know it's going to be one that we've anticipated, and I hope it's a good competitive fight, and it's all on the up and up, that these guys give it their best, and I'm sure they will. But I could see Triple G thinking this is going to be his maybe his last, or very close to his last fight.
Well, as that fight gets closer, I think Triple G has to knock out Canelo to win the fight. I think he's got to at least drop him a couple of times. Canelo is going to try to outbox Triple G. That seems to be the blueprint of how to beat him. But that's Canelo's weakness. He can't effectively land punches while he's on the move. So ultimately, as the fight goes on, we're going to end up seeing these two guys squaring off against each other. And I think that Triple G, in order to win this fight, is going to have to drop him a couple of times or knock him out, because there's no way in hell that Triple G is going to win a decision, especially over the powers that be, Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy, et cetera, et cetera. So I hate to say it, but that's the case. But one last thing I want to just mention, and then let's kick it to the curb. Well, we're probably going to be talking about it. I hopefully we don't have many emails. I haven't even looked at the emails yet. Hopefully we don't have many emails talking about McGregor Mayweather. But on a couple of days ago on ESPNW, Sarah Spain wrote an article about Mayweather McGregor, and her twist on it, because ESPNW, women's content and everything else, her twist on it, of course, was from a woman's perspective, but she made some really good points about this. Now, I've been criticized with my opinion of Floyd Mayweather outside the ring, and I think that those criticisms are valid. I think that I was basing a lot of my opinions on Floyd Mayweather based on his actions outside of the ring. And when I took a step back and looked at it, I felt that I was wrong, to be honest with you. And a lot of times I try to keep in perspective when I think about Floyd and his abilities. I try to just keep in perspective of his actions solely inside the ring. And I make my judgments and opinions based on that. If it's some shenanigans outside the ring, like him beating up women and young security guards, I'll separate it. I still don't think that he's a good human being outside the ring, but inside the ring, he's an extremely talented fighter. I don't like his style. I don't like the way he picks his opponents and carries on the charade, but it is what it is. But this Sarah Spain wrote an article pretty much with the gist of his actions outside the ring, but she made some great points. I'm not going to read the whole article, but I'm going to. It's up on ESPNW. But I want to point out a couple of quotes that she said in the article. She said, and referring to Mayweather McGregor, and this is Sarah Spain's quote, she said, "This is the biggest sports gimmick since Billie Jean King and Bobby Riggs met in the Battle of the Sexes, which took place in the 70s. She said, of course. I remember
that. I watched it.
Right. She said, a lot of people did. She said, of course, that was about respect and equality for female athletes. This fight, referring to Mayweather McGregor, is a soulless money grab featuring one of the most flawed superstars in all of sports." Now, that line, wow. I was wondering, is she referring to Floyd as a flawed superstar, or is she referring to Conor McGregor? And the flaw, obviously, is the way he treats women. Now, he said, she goes on to say, "The thought of Mayweather yet again benefiting from a spineless Nevada State Athletic Commission and a country full of sports fans willing to value entertainment over morality." And she points out a lot of things about him beating up the women and everything else that I'm going to pass through. Not that I don't agree with her. I just, I'm just taking certain lines out of this. And I agree with her about the Nevada State Athletic Commission. They are demonstrating no spine, no galloons. She says, even if your conscience will allow you to watch this fight, your brain shouldn't. Shine it up all you want, but this is just a technically sound but boring to watch past his prime boxer coming out of yet another retirement to face an MMA fighter who's talented but more famous for his mouth than his skill set, and who isn't even a professional boxer. It's nothing more than a marketing stunt disguised as an athletic competition. She says, "I'm shocked to see how many otherwise smart people are willing to get duped out of their hard-earned money to watch a one-sided spectacle that doesn't even pretend to be a fair fight. Mayweather and McGregor are showmen who will no doubt provide plenty of verbal fireworks leading up to the match. But when the bell rings and the duel begins, I guarantee there won't be a single paying customer satisfied by the actual fight. I can't disagree with Sarah there either, Sal. She says, buy the fight, and you'll not only be wasting your money on a flawed product, but you'll also forever know that you put money in the pocket of a man who has beaten and threatened to kill multiple women. She says, when you're watching him pummel the inexperienced McGregor, do your best not to picture a woman in the ring with him. Instead, he goes to say, or perhaps a mother to his children, or being punched repeatedly in the back of the head. If you can actually make yourself see Mayweather using his years of training to terrorize women, and you can still enjoy this fight, then you have to acknowledge that sports mean more to you than humanity. That's the only part of it that I threw in with the women thing, but she says a lot of anti-Mayweather because of the way he has treated women in the past. But her other comments attacking the commission and the truthfulness of the, which we have said, Sal, is going to be an anticlimactic fight, hits it right on the head. What do you think?
Well, I think she was right on those points, 100%. And I give her a lot of credit, and I love the words that she wrote. It's true, and I can't say she fabricated or is off base on any level there. I like the words that you read, and I'd like to see the whole article. But no, she's right on.
Well, it's not hard to find it. It's up on ESPNW. Sarah Spain is the author. But we got some emails to read, so let's get that rocking and rolling. First and foremost, I'll get you guys caught up with some baseball scores, if you care. Phillies beat the Cardinals 5-1. White Sox over the Twins 9-0. Rangers over the Blue Jays 11-4. Brewers over the Pirates 4-2. Diamondbacks beat up on the Rockies 10-3. Astros and the A's put some numbers on the board, but the Astros won 12-9. Indians beat the Orioles 6-3. The Angels beat the Yankees 10-5. The Cubs beat up on the Marlins 11-1. The Braves over the Giants 12-11. What a happy bat night that was. The Mariners beat the Tigers 9-6, and the Mets, they lose again. The Dodgers sweep them in that series. 6-3 was the score last night. Very embarrassing to be a Met fan. But let's read some emails. This first one is from Jesse, and Jesse says, "Hey Billy C and Sal, what's your thoughts on Sammy Valentin against Giovanni Santillán in the Battle of Young Prospects?" I had the luxury of commentating and actually calling Sammy Valentin's a fight just before he went to the amateur Golden Gloves finals out in Vegas. So I saw his Florida LDL TV broadcast it live, and I did the commentating. And I thought Sammy Valentin, to me, was an extremely talented amateur fighter. He's 23 years old. The computer has him ranked at welterweight at 116. He's undefeated, 12-0 with 9 knockouts. And to be honest with you, Hurricane Sammy is his nickname, but he's been in tough. Of his 12 fights, he's beaten 5 fighters that were either undefeated or only once beaten, 8 with winning records, and 5 with over 10 fights. And of those 5, many had well over 10 fights. Only 2 of his 12 fighters, only 2 of his 12 wins against those fighters had losing records. Only 2. So I mean, Hurricane Sammy is a legit fighter. Now he's stepping in the ring with a guy very similar to him, who's a southpaw and around the same height, 5'8". The computer ranks Giovanni Santillán at number 79, so substantially they have him ranked substantially higher than Hurricane Sammy. He's undefeated at 21-0, but he's got 11 knockouts. He's more of a boxer. Now, when you look at his resume compared to Sammy Valentin, Sammy Valentin, in my opinion, with the exception of one fight on his resume with 12, of his 12 fights, only one fight was against a guy that wasn't all that great. But the rest of them were against quality fighters, especially young quality fighters or extremely experienced fighters that had been around with double-digit wins. So I'm impressed with Sammy's choice of opponents thus far. When you look at Giovanni's opponents, the last were against really good opposition, but the fight, I give both credit because in the trend and fighting each other at blueprint that a lot of European fighters, specifically the UK fighters, do, which is impressive. He goes on to say, what's your thoughts on Walter Katoon Dawaka against Billy Joe Saunders? Is this a legit bout? I hadn't heard that it was officially announced, but this guy, Walter Katoon Dawaka, is 32 years old. He's 15-0 with 14 knockouts. The computer ranks him at number 38. How do you make a world title defense against a computer-ranked guy at number 38? I mean, that's not too impressive for Billy Joe Saunders. But then again, Billy Joe Saunders is not too impressive. The thing about this guy is his last fight, he beat a 32-2 guy. But I say a guy because I've never heard of any of the fighters that are on his record of 15-0 with 14 knockouts. So I think he's an unknown 100%. He says, Bill, he says, your thoughts on prospect Teofimo Lopez. How do you like his skills? Well, to be honest with you, he's got 5 fights under his belt. He's 19 years old. I don't know. Let's see. It's pretty early to tell. Haven't even gotten a chance to see him. So he says, I read that Abel Sanchez mentioned that he had told Kovalev to leave the gym because he wanted to do things his own way. Is it okay for a fighter to tell a trainer how to do the things if the fighter envisions his own ideas and methods in how he boxes a fighter, but not in a boss-type mentality such as being arrogant? I think both trainer and fighter should be on the same page and not just the trainer having all the control. Look at all these trainers who are awful and are only rah-rah guys. That's an interesting question, Sal, and thanks for the email, Jess. I think it has to be a two-way street. I think that a trainer and a fighter, before they even start working together, have to sit down and make sure they're on the same page and have the same goals and everything else. But in my opinion, Sal, and you're going to know more than me, being a former, not only a fighter, but a professional fighter who was a ranked fighter, I just think if you're a fighter and you choose to work with a trainer, I think Paul as a trainer, if you didn't in him, question better than I. What's your thoughts?
Well, it's so true. And like I said, I had those conversations, 3 conversations with 3 great trainers. And my first one was with Chicky Ferrara. We had a conversation like that. What our compatibility working together was all about, and what Chicky would like to see from me, and what I could show, and what I felt was my area of proficiency. I had that same conversation with Richie Giacchetti, and Richie saw me utilizing what he thought was my best style and accentuating on that. If I thought I was doing something else, he would remind me, or he would look at, well, Sal, you're going to be better off doing this. So we worked together. We had a great relationship. And, of course, I cannot not mention my relationship with Don Turner. Don Turner, in my opinion, was a phenomenal trainer for me. He also looked at what my attributes were, and he helped me accentuate those and everything else. And, that's the whole thing. A fighter and a trainer have to have communication, have to be on the same page, and have to have confidence in each other. And what I mean by that is, yes, the trainer is investing his time and money on future payoffs of a contender or champion. Mentor aligns with this, negate what's negative. And I think that I think it's a great thing that they have that kind of relationship. It's very important.
There's no doubt that a fighter and a trainer have to be on the same page. But I do think that if, as a fighter, once you make a decision to have a specific trainer work with you, that part of that success definitely hinges upon the fighter's agreement or ability to listen to what the trainer says. And although a fighter is inside the ring doing the fighting and is very close to the action, or, I mean, you can't get much closer, a lot of times a trainer can see some things that maybe the fighter's not seeing. And this isn't just in fights. This is in training. This is in preparation. So, honestly, Jesse, I think that it has to be a two-way street. If there's any kind of friction, whether it be the trainer not listening to a fighter's ideas, or a fighter not listening to what the trainer's telling them, if there's any kind of that, the relationship's not going to work. So Abel Sanchez, if for whatever reason he threw Kovalev out, and to tell you the truth, it sounds like Kovalev, based on him all of a sudden saying, I'm going to get rid of main events, I'm going to get rid of John David Jackson, is starting to point fingers. I mean, here's a guy that the guy from Rock Nation, the new CEO, whatever, is a total idiot. But he did make a statement that's kind of true. He said, Kovalev is a bully. And when bullies, when you stand up to a bully, they start making excuses. And that seems to be what's going on with Kovalev. Anyway, thanks for the email. I got another one here from Joel. And Joel says, hey, Billy C. and Sal, with a relatively quiet TV boxing weekend, when you and Sal spend part of your day or evening on a Friday or Saturday rewatching a few older classic fights, either on YouTube or wherever, or do you completely take off from boxing for a quiet TV weekend? Speaking for myself, I never really take off from boxing as far as major fights on TV. If the weekend is slow, me personally, I probably just start gearing up for the following week with the show. As far as going back and watching classic fights, I do that from a research point of view only, specifically, to do some comparisons with fighters. I don't typically like to go back and rewatch a fight I know the outcome of. A lot of times I like to, just like Sugar Ray Robinson fights. I'll watch his fights all the time. Marciano fights or Sonny Liston fights. I mean, my favorite fighters, any kind of footage on Jack Johnson, stuff like that, Jack Dempsey. I mean, I love watching that kind of stuff, but I'm doing it from a historical or an analytical point of view. But to go back and watch a fight, unless it was an exceptional fight, I don't normally do that. I do it at times, but I don't normally do it. What about you, Sal?
Well, the same thing, Bill. I don't normally do that, but there are some fights that I've loved to rewatch and just to see what my view would be years later and after. I mean, I could. Then I love to watch the Thriller in Manila, or I love to watch Ali against Foreman. I love to watch Ali against Frazier. Those were just classic fights that I do appreciate watching, and a few Marcianos I like to throw back then, along with you too, Bill. I love to watch Sugar Ray Robinson, who I think with pound for pound was one of the greatest ever, as I know you do. I like to catch a few LaMotta fights, Graziano fights. So I will look back at just at an appreciation and look at what the styles, how they compare to today. And even in my mind, I'll say how would a Graziano do against Golovkin or things like that. And so I do that. But realistically, me, Bill, if I don't have something we're preparing for a boxing or a show, man, I'm in a restaurant and we are so busy, and that's all I have time to do right now is work the restaurant and make sure everybody's happy and satisfied.
Yeah, unfortunately, I stick with the boxing as much as I can because it's a lot harder to get this show ready to go every single day than people think. But in any event, hey, listen, we're going to take a short break right now, and when we come back, I got let's see, what do I got here? I got 2 more emails, and then we'll try to open up the phone lines for a minute or two. So don't go anywhere because we will We'll be right back. And, I'm going to predict 2 minutes.
Billy C will be right back. Part of the Billy C Boxing Network.
Endless pools are an incredible alternative to traditional pools, making it easy and inexpensive to swim at home. Exercise year-round against a smooth current set to your desired pace and temperature. With our new underwater treadmill, you can walk or run without stressing your joints. Endless pools are simple to install and even simpler to maintain. The water stays crystal clear with almost no chlorine. Call for your free idea kit and experience the freedom of swimming at home.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-290-8300.
This message is for all Americans that owe $10,000 or more in back taxes to the IRS. Look, I know you want to keep ignoring those letters, but the problem isn't going away. It's really stressful, and you don't know where to turn.
The good news is you have rights, and we can help resolve your IRS problems.
If you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes, our qualified CPAs, tax negotiators, and support staff know the law and know how to get your situation under control legally and permanently.
Call the number on your screen now and we will contact the IRS on your behalf, help you end wage garnishments, stop collection calls, remove tax liens, get rid of IRS and state tax penalties, and reduce the amount you owe if you qualify. You wouldn't go to fix your car without going to a mechanic, so why face the IRS without an experienced company that can help you?
Let us take the stress of back taxes and the IRS off so you can spend time on the important things in your life, like your family or your business. If $1,000 in
Check out BillyCBoxing.com now, or feel the wrath of the mighty mustache.
Oh, that hurts. Why are you doing that to my face? I hate you.
That's BillyCBoxing.com. Consider this your warning. Now back to Billy C. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're back. You're listening and watching the Billy C Show. Glad you could be with us. And we're in the middle of reading some emails. And, we're thinking about opening up the phone lines in a few minutes. Unfortunately, if you call in, you're going to bang my man Sal out of the picture. So we'll have to deal with that, Sal. But I'm sure you're ready for that. I'm sure you're probably ready for a refill of the coffee soon, right?
Somebody in the chat room.
Well, I know when you drink all that coffee, either you need to refill or need to use the facilities, right?
I did both.
Yeah, well, you get to do that during the breaks. But anyway, we got another email. This one's from, this is a follow-up from my buddy John, who wrote an email yesterday. It was that long one that we read concerning his, ready to bail on boxing because of he didn't like the result of the Kovalev-Ward fight. He says, hey, Billy C., thanks for reading my email. I really appreciate it. You didn't really have to since it was a novel. I want to go. The reason why I read it, and I will say this, for anybody that sends us an email, if you take the time to write it, we'll take the time to read it. But I do ask that you try to keep it short and sweet and to the point, because this isn't a reading class, but just the nature of John's email and how you could hear it as you're reading it, his concerns and really, how sorry he felt and how sad it was that he feels that boxing is taking a turn that he's going in a different direction, and I think that he's not the only one that shares that. I think a lot of boxing fans that grew up watching great fights and loved the sport, and now you look at it today, and the young, newer fans don't understand because they weren't around to see what everybody's complaining that we don't have anymore. So it's hard to convince a younger fan, and I'm saying younger, like 30 years old and younger, that really didn't witness some of the great fights in the 80s. And I will say this, I don't even look at the 80s as a great era. In my opinion, the best era in boxing was, the 20s, 30s, and 40s. Those 3 decades really, I thought were the best. Not that I was there ringside, but I know you were, Sal. But anyway, he says, I want to go on record to say that you and your guys are pretty cool cats. Listen, I know that I came across as a Kovalev whiner, which I probably am. But I do agree that Ward won the fight. I just didn't care for how. I think he completely out-hustled Sergi and deserved to win. Also, like both you and Sal said, that Sergi could have fought with fire, meaning, go below the belt on him. He said, but he didn't. In my heart, he had fought well, but he wasn't going to get a victory as things were stacked against him. I think that my frustration is the corruption that's rampant in the game, and not just the Nevada State Athletic Commission, but all of the alphabet soup organizations may even be worse. I completely agree with you on Anthony Joshua. He's going to be a great one. I think Spence will be a great one, and there are many others out that I've left out. In the end, will those guys' greatness be tempered by keeping it business as usual as it exists now? I don't know the answer. No one does. Ultimately, I just want to applaud your efforts, passion, and knowledge. Well, I thank you for the email, John. But I will say this, Sal, and you and I know have talked about it many times, but at the end of the day, I mean, we can complain about, the athletic commissions, the sanctioning bodies, fighters trying to follow the blueprint that made Floyd Mayweather so successful. But at the end of the day, Sal, it's up to the fighter. If the fighter wants to fight the fight gets made. These fighters that say, like Adonis Stevenson, whatever Al Heyman says, I fight. That's BS. If a fighter wants a fight and they really want to prove something, they really want to show that it's up to them to do it. And I believe that more fighters should take those reins. And one example is something we talked about earlier on the show today. Andre Ward saying that he wants to fight Anthony Joshua. Now, if he really wants to make that fight happen, he can. It's up to Andre. Andre can make that happen. What's your thoughts?
Well, exactly that. I mean, we said this in the past. I mean, a fighter, or I'll do my promoter says, and they can hide behind that. But the bottom line is, they could also profess, hey, guess what? I don't want to fight this guy. Let's try and find somebody else that would do this. A fighter has that communication, that ability. Seldom will a manager throw a fighter down, put a fighter in with somebody that he doesn't feel or want to fight. It happens. Certainly it happens. It even happened to me. But the bottom line is, today on that upper level are on the same page with their managers or promoters, that they have an agreement. Because if a fighter does express the fact that he wants to fight, it's going to be hard for a promoter or manager to keep him quiet and to say, hey, maybe not yet. And they can do that, but maybe in 6 months to a year we'll get it after the next fight. That's how they'll pose it, and that's how they'll do it, to keep everybody on the same page and satisfied.
I think, not to cut you off, but I think that what you just said is exactly what Oscar De La Hoya did with Canelo.
Exactly. You're 100% right. And you know what? It would go hand in hand, Billy, because we said, here is Canelo Alvarez pounding his chest saying, oh, he could do this, he could do that. And guess what? All De La Hoya had to do is say, hey, Oscar, it's going to be a great fight, but maybe just not yet. Let's wait 6 months or a year. Let's see what he does in his next fight. And that's exactly the situation that happens all the time. And I would bet almost my bottom dollar. That's what we were saying, that Canelo pounds his chest. Well, Canelo's pounding his chest because he felt in his heart of hearts this is the fight he wanted, so give him credit for that. But the promotion and the management said, hey, we see it happening, just not today. Let's wait a little bit. And that's how it's happening right now. Billy, that's a great explanation. Great arriving at that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, hey, I do my best.
Hey. You bring the best out of me, Bill. See, you should have been my manager. You should have been my trainer.
Anyway, we got another email. This is the last one. This one's from my man Rick, and he says the subject says cut Tony some slack. And when I printed it early this morning, I was like, Tony. I'm thinking, Tony who? What Tony did I pick on?
James?
And no, he's referring to Tony Weeks. He says, hey, Billy C. and Sal, not to beat a dead horse with Kovalev against Ward, but I'm a bit frustrated with all the criticism that Tony Weeks has been getting. I've always thought of Tony as an excellent referee, and I thought he did a fine job refereeing the Ward-Kovalev fight. I did not feel the stoppage was early, as many people are saying it was. Watching from home, it was obvious from his body language that Kovalev was looking for a way out.
I agree.
Tony also set the precedent early on the fight when Kovalev was doing his best B-Hop impersonation that he would not be calling a bunch of ticky-tack fouls. Some awards shots were low. This is Rick. He says, but many of them were borderline, and I still feel that Kovalev was milking it. I watched guys taking harder shots to the you-know-whats during the NBA Finals a couple of weeks ago. I can't speak about Weeks' comments on social media after the fight because I didn't actually read them. But all in all, I have no problems with the stoppage or Weeks' handling of the fight. I do have some thoughts on other aspects of the fight, particularly the racial division among the fans, but I will save those for another email. The whole racial issue that's going on in boxing today and really everywhere is pretty bad. And, although racism obviously needs to be eliminated from our world, using it too much is anti-productive. In other words, if you're going to refer to someone or assume somebody's a racist when they're not, or just immediately pull that race card for no reason, it's like the boy who cried wolf. You're actually ruining the chances of really exposing a racist. There are plenty of racists out there that need to be exposed and need to be taken down. And I don't mean physically, but I mean, removed. No, I don't mean like that. And don't load up the gun. But I'm talking about, there's plenty of opportunities for people to expose or point out a racist and eliminate them from the conversation or whatever. But when, people refer to everything as being racist, just because, a fight, that doesn't mean that voted for him. The boy who cried wolf. If you never read that, read it. But as far as Tony Weeks is concerned, Sal, I think that Tony Weeks made a big mistake coming out on social media and saying that he made a mistake, that he should have given Kovalev, at least a full count or 8 count at least. He also admitted that there were some shots that he watched on replays that he should have called as low blow. But there is no doubt that Kovalev looked like he did not want to continue. It did seem like he was looking for help from the referee, did it a number of times during the fight. My opinion is still the same on this fight, Sal. I think that Kovalev did not fight with any urgency. He did not go after Andre Ward with reckless abandon like he should have. And he lost the fight. End of story. I don't want to hear the excuses, right?
End of story. You're so 100% correct on that one. Spot on. And I'll tell you what. I saw Andre Ward, whether it was a borderline blow, low blow, I will tell you this. He hit Kovalev so hard in the body at one point that it bet Kovalev in half. And that's when Kovalev was looking, where the heck am I going to go right now? He had no answer. And he hurt him. He hurt him. It wasn't hurting the groin. He hurt him in the body. And whether it was a little borderline, whatever, the bottom line, the end result, he took that wind out of him. And Kovalev was just wondering, I'm paralyzed. Where the hell can I go now? I don't have anywhere to go. and he was looking at the referee. I saw the panic in his eyes. I saw the body language. He was hurt, and Andre Ward, to his credit, he did what he had to do, and he disposed of him. And Kovalev, we could beat it up and down, left and right, and in and out. But Kovalev did not fight the fight that you and I anticipated him going in there and being the bully. We talked about it. He did not do it. So he lost.
Listen, in the first fight, Andre Ward hurt Kovalev to the body. I mean, if you go back to the first fight, when Andre Ward started picking up steam after the 6th round, a lot of that was due to some body work he invested in early in the fight. You got to give credit, even though I think Virgil Hunter is an overrated trainer, I got to give credit to Virgil Hunter and Andre Ward for incorporating a body attack again in the second fight. They saw that Kovalev, despite his size and power, is weak when it comes to body work. And I think Kovalev, like you just said, I think Kovalev felt some body shots, didn't like it, and was looking to get some help. And, listen, we can spin this a million ways. The worst part about boxing, unless there's a knockout, it's subjective. And I know somebody one time wrote an email, how can you say it's subjective? But it is subjective. We can have 3 or 4 or even 5 different people watching the same fight and all have a different opinion. A great example is the Sugar Ray Leonard Marvin Hagler fight. One time, a bunch of people that were involved with Billy C. Boxing, we were up at the Hall of Fame, and we watched this fight amongst ourselves with no sound. And actually, the sound we couldn't get to work, so we ended up watching it with no sound. And I was amazed at all the different scores, that we were coming up with, different than what we had been scoring for years and years about this fight. This is one of those fights that you constantly watch and score and, whatever. I mean, every time I score that fight, it comes out a draw. But I'll give you a great example. Alex Papali, who's probably the biggest Marvin Hagler fan there is. I mean, if you ever meet Alex, he's got a whole life-size body of Marvin tattooed on him. He loves it. We had my man Dave Wilcox, even though he pees all over Marvin Hagler every time he sees him at the Hall of Fame, they always run into each other in the bathroom, and Dave turns around, hey, Marvin, he's pissing all over him. But, the truth of the matter is they're all big Hagler fans. And, as we score the fight, it turns out that, they scored for Leonard, so it's subjective no matter how you look at it, So, listen, there's really not much more discussion about Ward Kovalev. Kovalev lost. He's making excuses. He lost the fight, Sal. He lost the fight. Ward was the better man that night. Ward might have won the first fight, controversial. But the second fight, he was clearly the better man. Low blows, crying, bitching and moaning, bad financial deals from Team Kovalev. All of that is not relevant. The bottom line is Ward won the fight, and Kovalev needs to shut the F up.
Yeah, I agree with you. As far as the Tony Weeks thing, I think the mistake he made was what you just said. He went on social media and he said maybe he could look at it differently. It would almost be like an umpire. I'm sorry, an umpire in a baseball game calling a guy who's trying to steal a base out at third base or something in a big position to be home on a single and stealing third base, calling him out and realizing, let me look at that. Oh, maybe he slid under me. I might have seen that differently, and I could have called it safe. I know they don't go that way because they look at it immediately, but that's almost how that could have been.
Well, I tell you the truth. Larry Hazard, who's on this show on Wednesdays, he's the commissioner in New Jersey, and they have instant replay incorporated in the state of New Jersey. I think it's time for all the commissions to use instant replay just for these reasons. The system has to work where they can make a quick, decisive decision between rounds. And, for a case of whether it's a knockdown or a slip could make the difference in a fight. I don't know how they would work a low blow. I mean, if Tony Weeks went back and saw a low blow that he didn't call. I mean, you can't go back and take a point away, but you could certainly keep it on your radar. But and then the other thing is that he was warning both fighters. So I don't know if replay would have worked in this case, but it certainly would help with fighters. Was he down? Was he not down? That kind of stuff. But and I also think that a trainer that wants to go to the instant replay for a knockdown has to risk something. Risk losing the round, similar to football and baseball, where they use too many and it's over. You don't get any more. So
no, you get maybe one or two per fight, and you do it, and you look at it in between rounds. You make your claim, and they look at it, and then if they have to look at it over and over and assess it going into the next round, they could just say on the media, they could just whisper to the judges and say, hey, look, we found that clear. It was a slip. It wasn't a knockdown or whatever. And that might change the score a little bit by a point or two. Who knows?
Well, I mean, the only difference in boxing is they only have the 1 minute between rounds to make a decision. But, hey, listen, let's open up the phone lines. 845-228-8710. If you have a question, comment, or concern, give us a call. Just make your point quickly, because we are going to take a break in 10 minutes. But give us a shout. Sal, we will probably have to lose you until the caller's done, and then I'll get you back. But you're a big boy. You can handle that. But
I can handle being kicked to the curb.
Anyway, yeah, you probably used the time wisely.
My old girlfriend, too.
Yeah. But the truth of the matter is Andre Ward, he won the fight. It's almost the Trail of Tears now is almost similar to Manny Pacquiao after Floyd beat him. The loyal Pacquiao fans, I love listening. I don't love it. I hate it. But watching them actually try to make a case that Mayweather even won that fight, and I'm sorry, Pacquiao even won that fight. Mayweather won the fight. It is what it is. I mean, I feel that Mayweather. No. I'm unlike most people, but I would like to see the fight again. I would have liked to have seen that fight again, another one. Only, and I'm agree with you, Sal. The outcome would be the same. Floyd would win, but the only reason why I would want to see it again is because I want to see if Manny gives Floyd the credit where it's due. I mean, the excuses were just. I hurt my shoulder. I couldn't go on. I just don't want to hear that. I just don't. But anyway, the big topic today really was Andre Ward suggesting that he would fight Anthony. I don't know. I think that's suicide, Sal.
You went in almost like my Bobby.
I still think that's suicide. Between
I love it,
Ward and AJ.
I love it, Bill. You know what? I want to see that fight. I want to see Joshua in with Don Stevenson. I'd like to see him in with a couple of people, but I would not mind seeing that fight happen within a year. If he's,
The worst part of the Andre, just I know that I didn't want to get back to the Andre Ward fight, but the worst part of the Andre Ward Sergey Kovalev rematch was the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Sarah Spain referred to them as spineless, and I couldn't agree more. I mean, Bob Bennett, and like I said, on this show, to be honest with you, the top four sanctioning bodies, in my opinion, throughout the United States, in no particular order, the state of New York, state of New Jersey, state of Nevada, and the state of California. Nevada has really fallen on that, in my opinion, big time. I felt that that would have really been, I thought that they acted pretty spineless, to be honest with you. I really did. I thought that they were spineless, like Sarah Spain puts on. That she mentioned that they were spineless, because the truth of the matter is what made me sick was the fact that that they asked the commentators what their thoughts were, Sal. I mean, they're like, oh, well, thanks for having us on, and, blah, blah, blah. I thought that was sad. I thought that was extremely sad on behalf of we keep losing you from time to time. I keep seeing sometimes you're there, sometimes you're not. Are you there now?
I'm doing that. It's a trick. I do that often.
Oh, I thought
I got one of those Star Trek transporters.
Yeah, I'm having some issues with your video, so I'm gonna have to disconnect you and get you back on here. So
yeah, I rebooted, so it's something that I don't know what, but
well, we just lost Sal, and we'll try and get him back on the line. But speaking of on the line, the phone line is open because I just kicked Sal off. As we reset him. So 845-228-8710. I think one of the reasons we lost Sal was we had a couple of callers calling in at the same time. So I had two callers and Sal and knocked us all out. So and we are having it does seem like we're having some problem with some communication problems today. So I apologize for that. But in any event, we will try to get my man Sal back on the line here. But if you have a question or comment or concern, give us a call. But in the meantime, I'm going to take a short break while I'm waiting to get Sal back on. And like I said earlier, if you want to call in, the line is open. And if we have to call Sal back, he don't mind. We'll be back in 2.
Billy C will be right back.
At Graze.com, we combine wholesome ingredients with the flavors we all love to create over 100 exciting snacks, like these. We'd love to send you a Graze sampler box for free. Just go to Graze.com, enter the code ENJOY36, and we'll mail your free box to your home or office. Join thousands of grazers already in love with our exciting snacks. So come to Graze.com for your first box free.
Endless pools are an incredible alternative to traditional pools, making it easy and inexpensive to swim at home. Exercise year-round against a smooth current set to your desired pace and temperature. With our new underwater treadmill, you can walk or run without stressing your joints. Endless pools are simple to install and even simpler to maintain. The water stays crystal clear with almost no chlorine. Call for your free idea kit and experience the freedom of swimming at home.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-290-8300.
Snacking has never been this exciting. At Graze.com, we combine wholesome ingredients with the flavors we all love to create over 100 exciting snacks, like these. We'd love to send you a Graze sampler box for free. Just go to Graze.com, enter the code ENJOY36, and we'll mail your free box to your home or office. Join thousands of grazers already in love with our exciting snacks. So come to Graze.com for your first box free.
Check out BillyCBoxing.com now, or feel the wrath of the mighty mustache.
Oh, that hurts. Why are you doing that to my face? I hate you.
That's BillyCBoxing.com. Consider this your warning. Now back to Billy C. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're back. You're listening and watching Billy C Show. Yeah. That's it. Glad you could be with us today. And I guess we're having some technical issues that I don't really notice here, but some people are telling us in the chat rooms. And speaking of the chat rooms, The one that we monitor and put some of the comments on, and even Sal is busy typing away at times, is the chat room up on BillyCBoxing.com. Now, I will admit I have been monitoring a little on the Facebook live page, only because we're doing an experiment, whether it's even worth it for us to broadcast on Facebook. We'd like to hear from any of you guys that have an opinion, so just drop me an email. If you take a minute to drop me an email, I'll take the time to read it. Or if you don't want it read and you just want to comment, just put that in the subject. Billy at Talkin' Boxing. That's TalkinBoxing.com. And I just I owe my man Dave an apology. He wanted me to make it perfectly clear that he only peed on Marvin Hagler one time. That was only one time. So I'm sorry. I thought that every time he saw Marvin, Marvin, he only peed on him one time because now when I see Marvin, he's wearing a rain jacket all the time. I don't know, Sal, but
that's wrong.
That's not me. Hey, it's him. Hey, listen, I go to the Hall of Fame. I stuff my face with the sausage and peppers, the Carmen Basilio sausage. I love him. And Dave, well, he looks around and I'm not going to say he drinks a lot of beer, but he's always got to use the bathroom. I'm just going to say that. And if, unfortunately for Marvin, if he's in there at the same time, well, it's shower time. You know what I mean?
Oh, Billy. Hey, you know what? We should make a date. Definitely next year. We should definitely plan on going to the Hall of Fame.
You're not my type.
I know you're. Hey. But I think we should be at the Hall of Fame next year. We should. It's been a while.
This is the only year I missed. Since they've been doing it, I've only missed 2 years. This year and a couple. Maybe even last year. No, I went last year. I've only missed 2 years. You know what? I might have missed 3 total, but that's it total since the first one. I've made it. A yearly event. It's just I got to be honest with the Hall of Fame. It's just not the same for me anymore. I don't like the way Ed Brophy, handles the Hall of Fame anymore. The fighters, to me, and in Ed's defense, there are a lot of people up there, like memorabilia people, that are just trying to get fighters' autographs, and then they want to sell them or put them on a card and sell them, or a photo or something like that. Which I can understand the reluctance to give them that opportunity for free. But when the Hall of Fame first started, what made it so great was the fact that you could be hanging out on the grounds waiting for a lecture or something like that and mingling with the fighters. The fighters that were there were hanging out with you, and you could go up to them because, nothing for nothing, but fighters generally, I'd say 90+% are very approachable and accessible, unlike any other sport. And, it gives the kids an opportunity to meet them, and they become real to you, real human beings. Rather than just a guy you're watching in the ring. But Ed Brophy and the rest of the staff up at the International Boxing Hall of Fame took that away. Now when unless a fighter comes on their own, they're not going to be mingling. They're required to stay in their room, and they come out when he parades them out. It's similar, and I've used this term a lot, Sal, it's similar to herding cattle in and out. And I think it's disrespectful to the fighters, to be honest with you. And it's turned me off big time, and that's one of the reasons I don't go. The main reason I go is when I'm going to hang out with my buddies. This year I know Alex and Dax didn't go, and my man James Curl didn't show up. Dave Wilcox didn't go. So I mean, a lot of guys that I used to, you didn't go, you weren't able to go this year. So a lot of guys that I'm used to hanging with weren't going to be there, and I don't want to hang myself. You know what I mean? Well, that didn't sound right, Sal. But anyway.
No, I hear you. But that's what I'm saying. Maybe next year we should plan on all meeting up there and having a good weekend. And hey, Bill, did you go to the first one, the inaugural one?
Yes, I did.
I did too, Billy. Well, obviously it was my first time up there.
It was my first time up there too. That's a coincidence.
Hey, it's coincidence. You and I were there. Yeah. Look at you. Look at me. Look at me looking at you. You didn't know who I was.
It was our first time at the first one. Could you imagine? I mean, who would have thought that?
What a coincidence!
Yeah,
Huh?
who would have thought
wow,
that?
we should play that lottery.
Oh my goodness!
But you know what you said is so true, because I still have pictures. I mean, it was great. We were actually, as you said, we were talking hand in hand, shaking Carmine Basilio's hand. You know, I think he had one in a sling, or is that Willie Pep? And you had Sandy Sadler up there, Billy Conn was up there, and Muhammad Ali was up there. I mean, and we were all interacting. We were talking. We were shaking hands. We were putting hands up, pats on backs, and you know, and it was real. And that's what I'm saying. It was more of a connectivity that you could experience with the fighters who were legends in the ring, and there you were, being able to talk, take a picture, do whatever you could do.
In Dave's case, take a leak, but whatever. I mean, you know. No, listen. I love Dave. I mean, you know, he said to me, hey, he said to me last time he went, not this year, last year, or maybe it was the year before. He says, no, I want to buy you dinner. I want to buy you dinner. I said, all right, you know, no problem, you know, and he says, I'll take you. Nothing but the best for you, Billy C. And he took me to Dunkin' Donuts, Sal. I mean, I thought maybe he was going to treat me to a real dinner. You know, he takes me to Dunkin' Donuts. I mean, and he would let me get one donut. You know, I had a glazed donut.
Was it filled with jelly or what?
No. I mean, he limited. He said one donut. Glaze? He says, don't eat too much. You got to watch your weight. You know, he says, but hey, it's on me. So he bought me a donut. I had to buy my own coffee, but you know, I give him a lot of credit. He did. He did buy me a donut, and I appreciate it. As a matter of fact, they were very low on donuts because it was the same year that Buster Douglas went up there, and he looked like he ate about 900 donuts at one sitting. You know, so I mean, you know, they were very short on donuts. But anyway, no, I'm kidding. Dave Murray,
I know,
did treat me.
Well, at least
dinner.
he didn't invite you to dinner and then ask you to borrow some money to pay for dinner.
No. We went to Graziano's and. I don't know what we had, but it was all on Dave, so it was good. Similar to, you know, Marvin Hagler gets to tell the same story. He says, "Yeah, I hung out with Dave, man. It was all on me." Yeah, but he's not talking about dinner. He's
You're
talking.
funny,
He's
Billy.
talking about the beer.
You got some good material. I don't know if you have a writer or if you just coming up with this.
No,
stuff.
I just happened to notice that Dave, who's out west, so I give him credit for even being up early. Out west, it's obviously a 3-hour difference, so he's up brushing his tooth, and the thing is what they should have done. It was funny because it's always made me wonder. You know, they call it a toothbrush, and guys that like in down south, I think that's where they invented it, because to be honest with you, Sal, if they invented a toothbrush anywhere else, wouldn't it have been called a teeth brush?
Billy, that's too much. Yeah, you're right. Yes.
I mean, I don't know.
All right, that's a good one. I like that. I'm going to use that later. In fact, I think I did.
Yeah, no, that's an old one. Come on, that's an old one.
I know. I'm teasing. No,
but anyway, hey, on this day in boxing history, a lot of cool stuff happened. June 23rd, in 2001, 2014 Boxing Hall of Famer Oscar De La Hoya wins a 12-round decision over Francisco Castillo to win the WBC World Junior Middleweight title, and that took place in Las Vegas, which currently has a spineless commission and executive director in Bob Bennett. And I say this because I had written a letter and an email requesting Bob to come on to explain to us why they were so incompetent with the Rigondeaux fight and how stupid he looked, especially thanking Jim Lampley for giving him a chance to I mean, the commission drives the bus, boys and girls. The commission, it's their baseball. They get to pitch. But I guess Bob Bennett doesn't know that. But anyway, on this day, June 23rd, 1933, Barney Ross wins a 10-round decision over Tony Canzonori to win the World Junior Welterweight title in Chicago. He also had the lightweight titles. Both the junior welterweight and lightweight titles were on the line Back then, there weren't as many weight divisions, and they were able to do that. So now today, there's twice as many, 3 times as many weight divisions, and we get to have catchweights too. That's pretty amazing, isn't it, Sal? There's there's 27 weight divisions, and we got 47 different catch weights. So maybe someday we're gonna have each 1 pound will 1 pound will determine which weight class you're in. What do you want, Sal? Come on. I see you raising.
I couldn't believe it when when I was making my comeback fight and I was losing the weight and everything else. And I said, well, am I coming back at 160 as a middleweight, or am I coming back as 154 as a junior middleweight? Or I probably could have gone down to 147. But the bottom line is, they said a catch weight of 156. I said, what the hell is a catch weight? What do you mean 156? I could make 154 or 160. What do I? I think it was the other corner that wanted the catch weight, but I never even heard of a catch weight. Now I'm catching weight. What are you talking about? I either want a junior middleweight or a middleweight.
Sal,
I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
You didn't even know that the weigh-in. You didn't even know the weigh-ins were the day before anymore. So,
no, I was waiting. I thought I had another day to make weight.
Yeah, no. You thought that you were going to be weighing in the day of the fight.
Let me tell you something. I thought that. No, you want to know something? I learned that lesson in between my fight with Brian Payton back in 1987, and then when I came back to fight Louis Lamelli at the co-feature with the Greg Haugen and Vinny Pazienza fight in Atlantic City Convention Center. That's the first time that we implemented weighing in the day before. And Louis Lamelli, you remember how big he was. He had trouble making weight that day, the day before, and when he came in that ring, he was a little heavier that night.
Well, you were losing weight, and I was finding it. But anyway, on this day, June 23rd, 1986, Stevie Cruz wins a 15-round decision over Barry McGuigan to win the world featherweight title, and that took place in Vegas. On this day in 1992, Tracy Patterson knocks out Thierry Jacob in the second round to win the WBC World Junior Featherweight title, and that took place south of here in Albany, New York. On this day in 2001, Manny Pacquiao knocks out Leho Ledewaba in the sixth round to win the IBF World Junior Featherweight title, and that took place in Vegas. On this day in 1912, Charles Ledoux knocks out Digger Stanley in the seventh round to win the British World Bantamweight title. Took place in France. That fight took place in France. And finally, on this day, June 23rd, 1969, Smokin' Joe Frazier knocks out Jerry Quarry in the seventh round to retain his world heavyweight title, and that took place at Madison Square Garden on this day in 1969.
Wow.
Listen, we want you to try and enjoy this weekend. It is a light boxing on TV weekend, but fear not. We will be kicking it up here in the next few weeks, and we got some great fights scheduled in August and September. I'm really looking forward to the Triple G Canelo fight. So fear not. Maybe get a chance to go out and enjoy some things, but boxing, we're having a good year, all in all. So
we are.
I think so. So all in all, make sure you tune in Monday morning. Same bat time, same bat channel. Until then, ciao, baby.